Hi, I'm Jared Iovine, your Personal South Florida Certified Flight Instructor. Today, I'm going to show you how to pre-flight a Cessna 172 November model. Let's go. Before we do anything though, we need to make sure that we have checked for any TFRs in the area, that we have obtained a weather briefing, we've done a weight and balance, and we've also run the I'm Safe checklist, or in other words, we've ensured that we're safe for today's flight. Be sure to take down the Hobbs and talk time. The Hobbs meter can be found in the far right of the panel. This number should go in the Hobbs out section. Check the airworthiness and registration certificates located in the bottom left side of the pilot's seat. Then check for the compass deviation card. Avoid placing the key inside the ignition. Some pilots like to place the key around the heading indicator knob. What I like to do is place the keys on the fuel selector valve like this. While you're down here, ensure the fuel selector valve is selected on both. And don't forget to make sure that the weight and balance and the POH are on board. Now let's follow the checklist to begin our pre-flight. This is a checklist right out of the POH. So make sure you go through it line by line to ensure you didn't forget any items. We'll start by making sure the control lock is removed on the yoke and verify the ignition switch is off, as well as the avionics switch. We'll then go ahead and turn the master on and verify the fuel quantity on board the aircraft. This is showing we have full fuel. Now, we're not going to extend the flaps on the N model, according to Cessna's checklist and the POH. Some checklists you'll find on the N model will tell you to extend it for pre-flight. What I normally do is just test the flaps during a run-up. If you notice the flaps extend down all the way to 40 degrees, I think that's unnecessary to drain on the battery. But if you really need to check them, please do. No harm, no foul. Next, let's go ahead and switch on all the lights and the PDOT heat. Do a quick walk around and check the left strobe and nav, the beacon and tail nav, the right strobe and nav, and the landing and taxi lights. Touch the PDOT tube carefully, as it should be hot to the touch. Then we'll shut off the PDOT heat and lights, but go ahead and just keep the beacon switch on, and then go ahead and turn off the master. Check that the door is closed and nice and secure. Lock the baggage door for extra redundancy. So before we go ahead and do the walk around, grab the checklist and the fuel sump jar. Definitely have your checklist out while you're doing the pre-flight. Check the general condition of the windows and the empennage. Get under the empennage and check for oil leaks, dings, dents, possible signs of tail strikes, no rivets missing, and anything else out of the ordinary. Over at the tail, flex the elevators and check the condition, the rivets, and the counterweights. Save yourself an embarrassment and make sure you undo the tie down. Check the trim tab and flex the rudder. Look for freedom of movement and the efficiency of the counterweights. Check the control cables as well and ensure they are nice and taut and secure. Flex the elevator on the other side and wiggle the anti-servo trim tab for slight movement and security. We'll also again check the counterweights, and we'll then head on over to the leading edge and check the general condition. And check the ELT antenna. Now let's head on over to the right wing and we'll check the flaps and then work our way over to the ailerons. Flex the ailerons and visually inspect the hinge pins and the counterweights. Never put your finger inside when inspecting underneath the aileron. Go ahead and check for the rivets as well. Place your hand on the side of the wing and walk it down the leading edge, checking for any dents or damage, which is essentially important, especially if you're a renter. And it looks like we found another tie down, so go ahead and undo that one as well. Check to make sure the strut's secure. And then we'll go ahead and check the landing gear. Make sure the tire is properly inflated and that there is adequate tread. No bald spots or any cords showing. Check the brake pads and make sure there's no hydraulic fluid leakage under the brake line. If there's chocks on the wheel, now would be a good time to remove them. Now it's time to sump the fuel. There are 4 places on the Cessna 172 November model where we can sump the fuel from. We'll obtain a sample over here, and then we'll take a look at it and make sure there's no contaminants or water in the fuel supply. We'll head on top of the wing to verify our fuel quantity. It's illegal in Florida to dump the fuel on the ground, so if we have a strainer like this gas jar, we'll go ahead and pour it back into the tank. Make sure the fuel cap is secured when closing it. While we're up here, go ahead and open this compartment and take out the oil dipstick. Our quantity of oil should read between 4 to 6 quarts. Place the dipstick back, but don't over tighten it. We'll have to obtain a fuel sample from the belly of the plane by pulling a handle located near the dipstick. Pull the handle and hold the gas jar under the fuel and check that sample. Now you can close the door. Sump the fuel from the belly. And now let's work our way towards the nose. Slide your finger along the blades of the propeller, checking for dings, nicks, or anything outside of the normal wear and tear. Then check the air filter, landing light, exhaust pipe, and the nose gear. Again, we're checking the tire inflation and adequate tread. Ensure the strut is exposed between 2 to 4 inches. Check the alternator belt and make sure it's secure. Look inside to make sure there's no bird's nest or anything else that doesn't belong in there. And go ahead and check the condition of the spinner and the engine cowling. Over to the left wing, we'll go ahead and check the static port and make sure that's clear of debris, as well as the air circulation holes. We'll also check the strut, and then we'll go ahead and sump the fuel. Again, looking to make sure that's clear of water and contaminants. And while we're over here, let's head on top of the wing. Remember not to dump the fuel on the ground in the state of Florida. So instead we're going to go ahead and put it back into the tank. Make sure the fuel cap is nice and secure. And then we'll go ahead and check the PDOT tube, making sure it's free of debris. Check the fuel vent, and don't be alarmed if just a couple drops of fuel will drip in there. Go ahead and check the stall horn, make sure that's clear of debris. Don't worry, you don't have to get up there and kiss the stall horn and make it go off. And then look at that, we got one more tie down to undo, so we'll go ahead and do that. Just like we did on the right wing, we'll again check on the left wing on the leading edge for any dents or damage, and then we'll go ahead and flex the aileron. Make sure you're looking inside the cockpit as well for proper control movements while you're flexing the aileron. And again, be very careful when checking underneath the aileron. Make sure the flaps are nice and secure. And then we'll go ahead and check the left landing gear. Again, checking for the tire tread and looking for leakage. I like to do one final walk around to make sure I didn't forget anything like any tie downs, chocks, open doors or compartments, any cups or debris left on or around the plane, that sort of thing. It never hurts to walk around the plane one more time before we start flying. To climb up on the wing, make sure the fuel caps are secure and check the windshield's nice and clean. If all looks good, let's go flying.